Let's wake up. This is November 5th. It's my birthday party, and we got the first black president in this motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck we about to do. We're going to turn this shit into what it's supposed to be. This is black excellence. Shout out to all my brothers in suits. Please, fuck all the brothers who are doing this suits. Yeah. Man, you gonna take this motherfucker down.
I got Obama at the free throw.
Come on. Yeah. You go, girl. Don't forget. We do never do your baby. Happy birthday, boy. Anthony. MC Frank Jigger. Antoinette. And now you know the deal.
About to break down the Diddy breakdown, everybody. Hope y'all ready.
Each and every time, it will be a torch. You can make up your head. Yeah, baby, where you at, y'all? So that's my skin. Oh! Y'all come back here.
All right, Chad. I hope y'all doing good.
That's right.
All right, Chad. Let's get to it. This is footage that I was able to recover. ABC is actually in my DMs on X about this post. ABC News. So don't be surprised if you see this post on ABC News later on tomorrow. So ABC News trying to get this footage from me. But this is Barack Obama at one of Diddy freak-offs. It was a party that Diddy held in honor of Obama winning that election. I was able to find the original footage and post it up. So that was pretty cool that I was able to release that news. Like I said, I'm going to hand that coverage over to ABC News, and I'll allow ABC News to go ahead and post that up. But it's undeniable. I got footage of Obama and Diddy at the little freak-off. So that's pretty cool little intro. Yeah, that's what you guys are watching. So if you're just hopping in, that's actually what this video is. It has Obama at the party. And what's even crazier is there was a massive cutout of Obama at this entire freak-off. A big cutout of Obama at Diddy's party, at the mansion party at the entrance. So you couldn't even enter the mansion without seeing Obama. It's crazy, filled with strippers and whatnot. So here you guys go. I don't trust ABC, but I'm okay with getting info out.
You know what this is? This is a celebration of black excellence. This is a celebration, this is a victory celebration of Barack Obama.
It is.
Everybody in here has been a difference. Look, I want y'all right now to realize where we at. It's a new day.
There you go. This is crazy, I don't know what the hell they're going. It's a loud one.
I set you free. I
Diddy
told you
speaking
you could
about
always count on me, girl.
wait till we
Don't
get to
let
this
me
indictment.
alone. I'll be here. I'll be there when you want me.
This dude literally partied with Obama, bro. Ronald Martin was there too, doing that shit. Let's find him real quick. Who's that? Who's that, Chet? Chet, who's this? If y'all think I'm capping, who's this real quick? Who's that shaking hands, Chet? That ain't no impersonator. Who's that shaking hands? I don't think people know Obama was at. That's lit. Obama's at his party, bro. Obama's at a Diddy party, bro. Whether people like it, look, that's Diddy Obama 4K in 4K. I'm going to look at that. Look at that man right there. See that? Yeah, that's Obama at a Diddy party. It ain't that much of a joke now. Got Obama, man, at Diddy party. So let's go ahead and get this. Because to me, I can't. Let's go ahead and start this. So there we go, right here. You see the little thing that I put it right there, showing a life-size poster of President Obama welcomes guests at the Diddy Mansion party. Yes, literally. So they even had a big poster of Obama welcoming him there. I mean, he's on some freaky stuff. But you can't talk about the whole Diddy situation unless you bring up Lucian Gra, which is the CEO of Universal Music Group. Lucian Gra, to me, is the person that's behind all of this, because there are being allegations that allege that Lucian Gra had a relationship with Diddy and was put on film. Now, this footage that was on film of the Universal Music CEO and Chris Winslow, which is weird, a random celebrity, Chris Winslow, supposedly is what led to this entire thing. And it's a pretty big rabbit hole. Let's see where I can find with Lucian. All right. I'll start off with this before we go into this indictment. Let's go into the Lucian connection, because Lucian Gra is very relevant to this. I want you guys to understand Lucian Gra was actually initially listed as a suspect of working with Diddy for a human trafficking operation. They claimed that him and Lucian Gra, the owner of Universal Music Group, at least in the lawsuit, claimed that they were both trafficking women underage and of age. Now, what's interesting is Universal Music Group and Lucian Gra were actually the first two names, or first two entities, however you want to put it, that was removed from the original lawsuit from Diddy's bodyguard. It's pretty crazy that you're now hearing that Lucian Gra possibly had footage in Diddy's house getting it on with Diddler. So it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about this. It shows that the majority of all of this is Lucian Gra trying to clean his hands from it all, which even Kanye West has once given Lucian Gra a lot of backlash and refers to him as Lucifer. So, I mean, there's some shadow work that's there itself, but let's go ahead and share that real quick. Stop this screen, share to the Lucian Gra screen. Here we go. So I reported this on, it was on March the 28th, 2024. And it shows breaking Universal CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Gra, the most powerful man in music, was named as an accomplice in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking lawsuit, alleged claims abiding, beating, and inducing Puffy to run a sex trafficking ring. Now, this is what was originally posted. And it shows right here that they followed agreements with Motown Records, etc. They all worked in cahoots with each other to make this happen. They claimed in order to benefit from the Combs sex trafficking venture, defendants Lucian Gra, Ethiopia, I don't even want to check that name up. Haber, yeah, I can't even pronounce that one just right now. Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group willfully failed to timely file required tax disclosures surrounding the funding of these sex trafficked parties. So, saying that they weren't doing their part of pretty much keeping transparency for the United States government of what was going on at these parties. It said Lucian Gra, Universal took aid of Combs' sex trafficking ventures, whereas fellows to follow the AML requirements. These failures was not just passive facilitation, but a deliberate omission by defendants Lucian Gra, Ethiopia, Heptimorian, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group. It allowed Combs to continue funding his sex trafficking ventures through suspicious transactions that would have otherwise been prevented. So they're pretty much saying that Lucian Grange not only knew about it, but was kind of covering up for Diddy with the whole situation. And wouldn't you know it, less than 2 weeks later, Lucian Grange was removed from any type of suspect list. It just went all on Diddy. Next thing you know, Diddy started selling his assets, started liquefying a couple of his assets as well. And next thing you know, Diddy tried to apply with a $50 million bond to get out, which is why we started seeing the liquidation for the assets in the first place. That was denied by the judge. And in addition to the $50 million bond that was requested, Diddy also offered to give up the passports of himself and every single one of his family members. That's extreme. They were going to give up every last one of their passports just to get the man out. Judge still denied it. And this tells you he's pissed off somebody or he has footage about someone. The Clive Davis, someone said, what about Clive? They alleged that Clive was on footage with Diddy on the blackmail footage. That's something that Eddie Griffin alluded to himself. Right before we get into the document, I can actually play the Eddie Griffin and what he said about Diddy and Clive, and it can actually break it down a little bit better for you guys about the Lucian Grange connection that I actually posted about as well. So let's get to this. Like I say, pay attention to the Lucian Grange connection because I think this is where it's going to all come back down to, because everyone always complains about the music industry, saying there's rituals, saying there's humiliation rituals, saying it's this and that, blackmail. Well, this is the head of the snake. And typically the head of the snake, they disguise all the backlash under a black face. We had the Harvey Weinstein thing and Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got way more backlash than Harvey Weinstein. I'll die by that because the industry wanted it to be so. They'll use a black entertainer to get all of the heat because it's more entertaining. And the reason why that works, it isn't through racism. Believe it or not, it works because black people tear their own down more than they tear anyone else. So as soon as a black person is in the news for something, black people about to go stupid with it, and it's going to make it larger than anything else. So you can distract the masses when you put a black face in trouble, because black people are best at destroying themselves, whether we want to accept their hard truth or not. Look at Diddy News versus Epstein News. People blew the hell out of Diddy News because black people just are so infatuated with their own failures. I don't get it. We tear each other down so damn much that this works. These type of strategies works because the way that we tear ourselves down so much. So it's pretty much sad, but let's go ahead and let me not run my mouth too much. Let's go to Eddie Griffin. Let me close out that last video. And he is the one that actually started this off. Let's make sure. Here we go. All right, I got it right here. Copy link. This is worth you guys seeing for sure. Okay, Eddie Griffin is going to break down Lucian Grange and also break down Carl Winslow. Here we go. There it is. All right. But 30 seconds, chat.
They sacrificing Diddy. They said, nigga, you gotta take this shit because we can't be involved. But Diddy smart. He filmed every fuck session. So he was fucking Clive and the motherfucking freak boy that run Universal Music Group. So he got them on some fuck tapes. Now that's why they raided the house, because they got friends in Homeland Security and the feds. And they said, get there and get them tapes from this nigga. He's trying to blackmail us. That's what I believe is going on. They sacrificing.
Look, I'm gonna let it run back one more time. Look what he's saying.
They said, nigga, you gotta take this shit because we can't be involved. But Diddy smart.
We can't be involved. He said you gotta take this so we can't be involved. He's referring to Lucian Grange. Like I said, Lucian Grange was initially on that paperwork, claiming him as a defendant, claiming that he had something to do with this entire situation. Next thing you know, Diddy takes the full heat. Takes the full heat.
He filmed every fuck session. So he was fucking Clive and the motherfucking freak boy that run Universal Music.
That is a massive allegation. Clive is a big one itself, yeah. But to claim that the owner of Universal Music Group, which is without a doubt the most powerful record label company in the entire world, not just America, the entire world, Universal Music Group is the most powerful record label in the world. You're talking about a bona fide industry leader. He's claiming he has something to do with the Diddy situation. That's enough, because everyone should understand that Lucian Grange has Homeland Security connections. There's no conspiracy behind none of this. There's no Illuminati conspiracy. No, this is real facts. You know, back in the past, in the early YouTube, 2001 and stuff, used to be like everyone Illuminati with the pyramids and stuff. No, people have real facts nowadays to go by. And this is real facts behind this. He has Homeland Security connections, which would validate him going after Puff. They don't go after each other when they do wrong. They don't care about that. It's only when they do wrong to each other. It's a brotherhood.
The group. So he got them on some fuck tapes. Now that's why they raiding the house, because they got friends in Homeland Security and the feds, and they said get in there and get them tapes from this nigga. He trying to blackmail us. That's what I believe is going on.
So that's absolutely crazy. So, you know, he pretty much break that down. Going to the same thing that I believe that's going on. I think it's Lucian Grange. Eddie Griffin also thinks it's Lucian Grange. I reported on Lucian Grange in March this year. It's not just me. I'm not just some crazy tinfoil hat person saying Lucian Grange. It's a lot of reputable people that also believe Lucian Grange. I was dealing in the music industry from what was it, 2000 and let's see, it was 2014 to 2019. And I actually had to have some experience with a few things. Even got to hang out with Suge Knight's son, up in LA with a couple of other people and celebrities. So I've had a pretty unique experience. And I'll tell you that in Hollywood, people know about Diddy. All the way from 2017 when I went to LA, people knows about Diddy. They know about him. So this isn't nothing new to the industry. It's just new to the world as a whole. And I'm saying that to say this. This thing has been going on for over decades. If they're coming to get him now, it's because he burned his own. It's not from burning the people. It's from burning his own. So right here we have the indictment. Let's go ahead and get to this. This indictment is 14 pages in total, so it won't take us that long. But this is what everyone came for. Let's just go ahead and go through this indictment because I don't know if everyone got the ability to see this yet. So right here is the unsealed indictment. It shows the United States versus Sean Combs, Puffy, Puff Daddy, all those extra names. You don't have to get it. But I will say it's not funny, but I think it's kind of somewhat entertaining. The fact that all of his aliases, all of his stage names have to be referenced in this. Like Diddy has so many freaking names. So I guess it's officially canon for which ones actually really exist. So he can be considered Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, and Love. I didn't even know he was once known as PD, so that's new. All right. First page, it shows for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, blah, blah, blah. It says the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around for his sexual fulfillments. It sounds just like Jeffrey Epstein to me. It says to protect his reputation, conceal his conduct. That protect his reputation part, that part right there, it's what makes me feel like the Lucian Grange theory could be very true. Because it says to protect his reputation, and he would use blackmail to protect his reputation. To do so, Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. It says the defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan. Now that party I showed you was up in his Manhattan mansion with Obama. So that was one of his headquarters that I was showing. So this is crazy too. So where Obama attended one of those freak-off parties was actually at one of his headquarters. That's nuts, bro. I'm reading all this for the first. That's nuts. Los Angeles and a variety of United States-based corporate entities. Now it's interesting. They don't have the Miami location there. So I'm wondering if his Florida home wasn't. Now that is somewhat interesting. So you mean to tell me all of his headquarters were in liberal cities? The California and the New York was where he had headquarters, but he didn't headquarter out in Florida. It just doesn't look good for Democrats the more that you break this stuff down seriously. He chose to headquarter his traffic organization in Democrat-ran states and cities, opposed to running in Miami. It says right here, he didn't even run his organization in Florida. Damn, that's wild. Okay, it says Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, all of that. You guys don't really have to see. It's just all of his other business entities. It's saying that his among things, record studios, apparel line, alcoholic spirit businesses, marketing agency, and television network and media company. All of the times relevant to the indictment, Sean Combs I gotta read past. I don't know why they keep referencing all those damn names. They can just put Sean Combs and keep it moving. Like, is this a troll? Are they going to literally put all of his different names every damn time? That's crazy. The defendant. This is crazy. This is stupid. You don't have to do this for a court proceeding. The abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. What the hell type of freak was this? He forced women. He forced women to have sex with male commercial sex workers. What type of, this man really was a freak. Bro, what satisfaction do you get from that? So you telling me he forced women to have sex with professional sex? What the hell? What does he get from that, bro? This man, that dude was engaging in sex magic. I'm telling you. He had to be. He had to be. And disturbing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Now, there are allegations. Now, you see that they put arson, but there were allegations of him setting up Kid Cudi's car on fire. That makes the whole arson thing sound a whole lot more believable to me if he burned up Kid Cudi car. And that was due to Kid Cudi allegedly trying to talk to Cassie. All of this stuff is reported and recorded. None of this is being made up. So, I mean, he already was somewhat, like you said, James Washington, he's a control freak. He's a control freak completely. All right, let's go down to 4. We're getting through this pretty quick. This ain't going to last long. Physical abuse. It says Puffy, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least 2009 and continuing for years. Combs assaulted women by, among things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotels in or about March 2016. That's the Cassie video that we've all seen already, with him dragging Cassie or whatever. So we don't really have to revisit that too much. And I will say, when the Cassie video released, I told everyone, I announced it. I said, listen, the reason they're releasing this is because they're trying to go ahead and assassinate his character. That way, when they lock him up, no one's going to cry for him. And they released that video timely. They wanted to make sure that they release the video, it gets in the hearts and minds of everyone, let it digest there. That way we can remember it and see it. They wanted to give it about a month or two before they went ahead and locked them up. When I saw the Cassie video, they released it at a time where they said he could not get charged for it, and they still released it. That was out of character assassination. When they don't just, like I said, they don't hurt each other unless they absolutely have to. So when I saw that, I said, yeah, Puffy's going to jail. Not even going to be involved to Cassie. But I said it, that this thing, that Cassie video was going to be referenced in court. And here we are. Here we are. They will try to assassinate your character because it's all about the prosecution selling the case. They got to prove that this person is a complete scumbag. And there was nothing on camera to really prove that he was a criminal. That Cassie video is the first thing to actually prove he's a criminal, so it helps the prosecution sell their case. All right. It says he saw the women, whatever, blah, blah. When members of hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff and ensure silence, which obviously it must have worked. Combs' violence was not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witness to his abuse and others. Sean Combs, a.k.a. Make sure I get a little bit smaller right here so you guys can see. So I don't have to do all this, a.k.a. Sean Combs, the defendant, used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. The employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. So now they're going to break down Combs' enterprise. From at least or in about 2008 through or about the date of filing this indictment. So dang, they're saying whatever's happening right now, what they're reading now, this was from 2008 to present. Is what it's saying. It's from 2008 to present. Say Combs and members were associated with criminal organization. Damn. They've now listed the Combs Enterprise as a criminal organization. That's crazy. It says the Combs Enterprise. Oh, wow. Criminal. They're listing this as a criminal organization already. That's not good. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted or engaged in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution. Oh my Lord. God, please. Traffic. Oh man, Jesus. Coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The Combs Enterprise includes and leaderships in its member and its associates consulted. An enterprise is defined in Title 18 of the U.S. Code, Section 1961(4). That is a group of individuals, in fact, not a legal entity. Wow. Within the Combs business, not limited to bad boy entertainment. So listen, dang. So this is dirty. They pretty much listed all of Puffy businesses under the Combs Enterprise, and I guess that's how Puffy did it legally. But Bad Boys and everything else owned under Puffy, from what they're alleging, is a criminal organization. And that's what happens when you start mixing your clean money with your dirty money, because it gives the feds the excuse to claim everything is dirty. And that's when they start freezing your assets and say, well, they would never leave assets, so it belongs to the government anyway. It's very dirty but genius, but they're pretty much claiming his legitimate businesses as criminal enterprises, or maybe they could all be fully criminal. But I tell you, just being honest, most of the time, they get a lot of the clean businesses and they allege that they're dirty so they can pull their assets. And that's what it seems that's happening, because Bad Boy is in this now. The Combs Enterprise consisted of an ongoing organization where members function as a continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving objectives of the Combs Enterprise. Wow. Engaged its activity affected interstate and foreign commerce, operating in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere at all times relevant to the indictment. Puffy, the defendant, was the leader of the Combs Enterprise. Okay, we know that. It says other activities related to the conduct of the Combs Enterprise's affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees and Combs security staff. We know the staff because the staff was the one that started to expose it. High-ranking supervisors as well as close associates to Combs. The purposes of the Combs Enterprise include the following. So this is right here interesting. So this is what the feds are going to say, what they believe the whole Combs Enterprise existed for, or they're claiming all of Puffy assets right here. And I do believe Jay-Z is going to be next, Minnie. I think Jay-Z is going to be entered next. And I'm going to speak on that as well. The purpose of the Combs Enterprise includes the following: opening a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among the other things, record labels, recording studio, apparel. Like I said, they're adding every single thing. You see how they put that right there, the Combs Enterprise, and how I was saying how they're trying to legitimize claiming all of his businesses are illegal. Because once they have all this in writing, this almost gives the government the right to pull all of this and claim all of this and take those assets. They're claiming everything under the Combs Enterprise as a criminal organization. So the modeling, all of that, apparel line, the alcoholic spirits, a marketing agency, television network, and media company. That's why you saw with Hope start to separate from Puffy. There's a good chance he could still own these things behind the scenes, but he had to get his names off of it, because if he had his names off of it, if any company was involved in a quote unquote Combs Enterprise, it's now a criminal organization. So the best thing to do before this indictment was to cleanse hands from Puffy. He could still own a lot of these businesses, but he had to get his name away from it. All right. It says enriching members and associates of the enterprise includes its leader, Combs, in particular, who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes, promoting and enhancing the power of Combs, just showing what the workers were doing, fulfilling a personal desire, Combs, related to Combs' sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial. I just don't get that commercial sex worker thing. Why the hell are you bringing women to have sex with commercial sex workers? Freaky ass nigga. That don't make sense. What does he get from just bringing women to have sex with professional? I don't know what to even call this. What is it? A male stripper? What does he gain from that, bro? I don't know what he even gains from that part, but it says enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual acts, trafficking, forced labor. So they're going to keep copying and pasting that. Okay. They've already said it before. They just severe absolute loyalty from his members, the Combs Enterprise, including acts of violence and threats. So pretty much saying that he demanded loyalty. He would threaten them, or they would receive violence if they showed some type of qualities that appeared to be disloyal to Puffy. Protecting the Combs Enterprise and members and associates, including Combs, from detection, and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation. Now, this is interesting. It's saying that people of his enterprise, they're really upselling this like he's a criminal, dog. They're saying the people of his enterprise was preventing him from ever getting indictments, ever getting charged in anything through bribery, intimidation, manipulation, and threats of retaliations against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. They're saying everyone in Puffy Group was getting active. Damn. This is worse than Suge Knight. Associates of the Combs Enterprise participated, conduct the affairs of the Combs Enterprise, including, so they're breaking down the members. Let's see if it's anything worth referencing for y'all, because this don't have to be longer than it has to be. But we all gone through every page. We're on number 6. Withheld the power of the prestigious Combs role to intimidate. Let me fix my camera. What's going on? Intimidate. All right, so here's the freak off part. You know, everyone was told that the freak offs was actually referenced in this indictment, and here it is right here. It's on page 6 of 14. Extended sex acts. So let's go up right here. This is what you guys need to see. Combs and other members and associate of the Combs Enterprise withheld the power and prestige of Combs. Role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into the Combs orbit, often under the pretense of romantic relationship. So pretty much Puffy would bring women in, claiming that they had a position for his heart, whatever, you know, and lure them into, or force them into sex work, it seems. So females that thought they were dating Puffy originally were slowly manipulated into becoming his next sex worker. It says the Combs business right here. It said Combs then used force, threats of force, coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex outs with. See, this is a freaky ass dude, dog. He would first lure women in, make them think they on a date with him, then end up having them have to have sex acts with sex male commercial workers that Combs referenced to as, among other things, freak offs. Freak offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during. Oh, this a freaky nigga. Mm-hmm. And then electronically recorded. In arranging these freak offs, Combs with associate. I can't even read this shit, man. Combs with assistance of members and the associates of the Combs Enterprise transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across the lines intentionally. Freak offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant, sometimes unknown to the victims. That means sometimes he would drug people without their consent. Combs kept videos he filmed of engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. Oh, my Lord. So commercial sex workers are the men. They already stated as men. This freaky dude, he's fucking with the men. They've never said the commercial sex workers were women. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, they said that part before, facilitated by the freak offs, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance, required freak off supplies, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak offs to mitigate room damage. Bro, they got so crazy in these wild hotel rooms that there was damage. Arranging for time of the victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to the freak offs, resupplying Combs with the requested supplies, delivering, and we know he got caught with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay commercial sex workers, and scheduling delivery of IV fluids. That dude is a super freak, boy. Rick James ain't got shit on him. They had to have IV fluids to keep people, bro. Do you guys understand what this is saying? This alludes to the fact that there were IV fluids at a sex party. This shit can't be normal. I don't care. It's going to come out. This is magic. That's sex magic, bro. That's sex magic. You can laugh. You can click off. This is real. This really goes on. That's sex magic. You're not having sex for multiple days so bad that you need an IV. That's not normal human things. That's not a normal human behavior to want to have sex so long to where if you don't have an IV, you'll die from dehydration. That's not normal. This is some crazy stuff going on in Hollywood. They have to have IVs for them to have sex, bro. Whew, man, that's just crazy. It said Combs and the freak offs were supplying them supplies, large sums of cash, blah, blah, blah. About March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, law enforcement seized various freak off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil lubricant. So, man, this dude is crazy, y'all. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak offs. Ooh. Combs maintained control over the victims through, among other things, physical violence, promise of career opportunities, granting and threatened to withhold financial support, and by coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, control. Man, lock this nigga up, man. Controlling medical records, controlling the house, and supplying them with controlled substance. So you telling me he would not let these folks get paid, would not feed these folks, but give them drugs? Bro, this dude is evil, bro. What the hell? This is real evil. It says, man, threw objects at, dragged victims at times by their hair. The assaults often resulted in injuries that took days and weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demand without risking their financial or job security or without repercussion from the physical. Man, this is for anyone watching this and you want to be famous. Not all that glitter is gold. Let this be a lesson to the youth. Let this be a lesson to the old that sees these lives and just think that it's better on the other side. You might be living a life that they were killed for. Because I can't imagine being someone in a situation where I have this freaky ass nigga in charge of my life. It can always be worse. It could always be worse for all of us because this is real hell to live in. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs, security personnel at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried a brandished firearm to intimidate or threaten others, including the victims, to witness to his abuse. In about March 2024, during the searches of Combs residents in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s, the face serial. Man, this nigga is a menace. The face serial numbers, these shits could be hot. That means he's got these weapons to kill folks for real and not do it in a legal way. That's the only time you need to get rid of serial numbers. Now, the weapons weren't really that strange to me because he's in Miami. But that right here, the face serial numbers, that's what's raising eyebrows for me. What you defacing serial, that's a real criminal now. That itself is legal as hell. It said, so Usher was caught up. I'm reading the comments. You guys are funny, man. I'm trying to stay focused. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise enabled Combs to control over victims by following the directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring controlled substance Combs used to keep victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards victims and victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs enterprise helped conceal the victim and abuse by, among other things, man, lock them up too. Bro, you cannot keep locking up Combs. You got to lock up the people that's protecting him. This is crazy. They helped conceal the violence. They hid the victims, monitoring and prevented victims from leaving locations. They locked them up in locations until they healed. They gotta go to jail too, because there's some freaky ass people that's walking around that's okay with kidnapping people that are free right now walking among us. It's that serious. These people need to be named and they need to be held to the fullest authority of the law because they are just as dangerous, if not worse than Diddy, because they put their hands on the people. It says Combs. Oh man. The occasion included instances in where a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries that Combs inflicted. Without being publicly observed, members and associates of the Combs enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. How can you be, man, dog, money really corrupts. How can you be so money hungry that you will track down someone that you know your boss abused and prevent them from getting help, dog? How do you think that you're going to have good karma at the end of this? There's real evil among us. for money, bro. Your shit for money. This is crazy, dog. How can you become so corrupt? When employees witness to his abuse or threaten Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members of the associated enterprise engage in acts of violence, threats, and financial reputation harm or verbal abuse. These acts of violence included, damn, again, kidnapping and arson. So I guess that pretty much if anyone was an employee, so this is for the employees specifically, he would kidnap or burn their ass. So his employees only had two options: kidnapping or burning. He didn't even beat on them and threaten them. If you were an employee of Diddy and you acting up, he was kidnapping you or burning something. It said both objects and people were hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. When the Combs authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including about the late 2023 following public allegations of Combs crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent. I think that's why he paid Cassie that big bag. He gave Cassie that bag in like what? As soon as it came out, he gave Cassie that bag. That somewhat could be bribery because Cassie saw everything. Not report what they knew to law enforcement on phone calls. Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with false narratives of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. Man. Okay. Let's get to the racketeering. From at least in or about 2008 through or about the date of filing of his own indictment, the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others unknown persons employed by the associated with the Combs enterprise describe paragraph 6 to 12 of this indictment. An enterprise engaged in the activities which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together with each other to violate racketeering laws with the United States. All right, it's just saying that they agreed to commit. So it's pretty much saying that they knew they were committing a crime. They knew they were committing racketeering and had no remorse. So that's going to matter too to the prosecution. It isn't like sometimes people might commit racketeering and not know that they're doing racketeering, but they're claiming they got enough proof that they were very aware that they were racketeering. Okay, multiple acts including kidnapping, chargeable under the following. We don't have to go into all those. We understand that that's illegal. Multiple acts including arson. We understand that's illegal. Multiple acts including bribery. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18. None of this really matters unless you're a law nerd. Look, I'm trying to skip through this. These are just breaking down the titles where it can be found about the laws. That breaks it down a little bit more. Let's go down here. At least 2 racketeering activity conducting affairs of Combs enterprise. Okay. Special sentencing factor. All right. This should be a little interesting. From at least or about 2009 and including up to about 2018 in the Southern District of New York, part of his agreement to conduct and participate in conducting affairs of Combs enterprise, they said the defendant agreed to, affecting interstate and foreign commerce knowingly. See, this is what they're saying, right? What I was saying, knowingly. So they was letting you know that they're not accidentally doing racketeering. Knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and reckless disregard the fact of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion. So it's just letting you know they revalidating the fact that they knew they were breaking the law right here. From at least 2009 to 2018, it says Combs and all of his team knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means person. So just breaking down that even again. And any combination of such means be used to cause the person to engage in commercial sex act and attempted, aided, and abided, and willfully caused the same wit. Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, maintained the person. So it's saying that right here that I'm guessing they have victims as well in this, and they have the victim names, of course. So they have victims broke down, and I'm going to expect we'll start seeing some victim statements hopefully in these coming days to let us know what they have to say about the whole Diddy situation. But they do have victims, victim 1, victim 2, that's also in this indictment. So I wonder if those will stay hidden throughout the whole situation. As a result of committing an offense, see right here, we're almost done. We're on page 13 and 14, guys. Thanks for staying with me. Really appreciate you, chat. Status code section 1962, all interest, securities, claims against the properties. Make sure if there's anything worth references. As a result, committing the alleged in court to the indictment. It's pretty much just saying what he can go to jail for. That's what this seems. Yeah. So what this is a breakdown. It's letting you know, and I ain't gonna lie to you, he's facing life in prison. It's going to break it down with all these, but it's just letting you know what the maximum could be for that. He's facing life in prison, man. He's definitely, if he was to be, that's what they'll say, if convicted on all charges, Puffy is facing life in prison. There's absolutely no doubt. There's no doubt he's facing life in prison. That's all. It's re-emphasizing that he's facing life in prison. It's re-emphasizing that he broke the law willingly and knowingly. It says, real person constitute is derived from proceeds traceable to the commission and said offense, including not limited to sums of money, United States currency. Substitute asset provision. Okay, this talking about assets. Not much stuff was need to be referenced. Oh, and that be the end of it. So let's just read this part. Cannot be located on, cannot be transferred. So it's just pretty much saying his assets. If any discovered forgery property. Oh man, so they broke down all of his assets and everything with his company, and they're pretty much in there letting you know what he can and can't do with his assets. But with this being this case, he's unable to really access right now. Access anything until the investigation done. The most interesting take from this whole entire thing to me is the fact that he had employees that were willing to kidnap people. And the situation that I don't think a lot of people understand is that he hired male sex workers. So a lot of people's opinions, and you see that they're trying to steer away from celebrities because I don't think they're ready to give people that red pill yet. Celebrities are involved, but they're not breaking it down. They're talking about male sex workers. We all know male celebrities are involved in this. So for them to just constantly pressure on male sex worker, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to see really anything with male sex workers in terms with the women. So that threw me off guard to know that he's hiring male sex workers for this. That's crazy to me. Like, really think about it. He has women, quote unquote, date them, and then have them have sex with a male sex worker. Like, what the hell? And we already know about him recording people at the freak offs or whatnot. But I'll say it's somewhat crazy to see the word freak off in official court documents. Crazy, man. I swear we're living in a simulation. I don't know what CERN did. Everyone was saying the world was supposed to end in 2012. I don't know. I don't think CERN ended it, but they might have shifted something because it just don't feel real no more. It just don't feel real. Some of the stuff we're seeing is crazy. And I appreciate you, Joker, for, checking out my stuff and reposting it. Hoping you guys enjoy this. I know I took 40 minutes. I tried to break through that as much as we could. That was 14 pages. If you guys enjoy it, we'll actually be doing this the more his details come out. And we can do every indictment here if you guys would like. If you do like it, if you would like me to break down all the rest of the indictments, man, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Also, check out my recent video. The recent video I just did on YouTube is, let me make sure I get it right for you guys. Oh, the Al Sharpton, yes. So Al Sharpton says Trump is a threat to black people after the assassination attempt. This is my recent. Check it out. But if you would like me to do more breakdowns, I definitely will, man. Love you guys. We're going to keep this going. And I do lives at 8 o'clock every single day. God willing, unless something comes up. But we're going to do this again tomorrow. See you guys soon. Appreciate it. And please leave me comments, send me DMs, or whatever. Let me know what you like or didn't like on this or what you would like to continue to see. We are out.